What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? My name is Joe, just your average Joe, hanging out in the garage. Y'all know how we do. It's all raw and unedited. Hurricane came through yesterday. Well, last night. We're still kind of in the midst of it. We may get some additional bands as it rotates and things like that. But for the most part, I think the worst of it we're through. So hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully things are going good in your area. If you weren't in the path or nowhere in the East Coast-ish area, hopefully your weather's good. But last night got a little sketchy. We had some down limbs, some pretty big down limbs in our yard and things like that. So we do have flooding in the area. My wife's keeping track on our county Facebook page. So there's down trees, there's flooding in our area, there's things going on around us, that's for sure. But luckily here at home, nothing really major. Went and checked everything this morning, made sure the house was good, no shingles, no siding, camper's good, trailer's good, so for the most part, other than some pretty big down limbs, and just some debris in the yard, we're doing pretty good. So knock on wood, we weathered the storm pretty well. Like I said, we shouldn't be any worse than what we got last night going forward. We do have some of those bands, as it rotates, are going to come back around to us, but it looks like it's just going to be maybe some lighter rain and things like that, maybe some winds and such. But so far, it's not super dark like it was last night, as it started coming through. It those clouds are, it makes everything look like all hell's about to break loose. But right now it's pretty, I wouldn't say clear, but it's not raining at the moment, so that's good. But anyway, my name is Joe. If you haven't been around before, just your average Joe. Been reselling full time for 8-9 years, but I've been on eBay buying and selling since 2000, my early days when PayPal was not really a big deal. Tons of third-party platforms. Western Union and money orders were the way to go sometimes back then. But I used to sell my books back at the bookstore. Instead of selling my books back at the bookstore back in college, I would throw them on eBay and get a premium out of them. So that's kind of what started me down the whole eBay selling path, was way back in my early college days. So anyways, appreciate y'all hanging out. Appreciate y'all commenting and hanging out and watching the videos. Hopefully you get a little something out of it or just enjoy watching. We got some comments to go over. I got one specific comment I want to really touch on, because people like to put you in a box sometimes off of just a situation versus really knowing who you are. So we're going to touch on that as well. And that's about it. So, and then we got 6 sales to go over, total like 2, not too bad. Sales promotions and the sales discount are working, or marketing promo and the sales discounts are working pretty well. I'm up to 1% of my items are selling now, which I shouldn't have to pay to do that, because that's the way it used to be without having to do all this. But now that's just the new eBay, I guess. Since January, things have been pretty rough on eBay. So, but anyway, 6 sales for $264.01, and again, all of them sold under either marketing promo, because it shows you whether it's sold under marketing promo or promoted listing, which all of them were one or the other or both. So I got a 15% discount up. Oh, there's an offer for a Game Boy. All right, let's see what we got. Offer for a Game Boy. I got this game. No, I'm declining that. No thanks. I've got a Game Boy up. Regular price is like $89.99. I've got it on 15% discount, so it's at 60, maybe it's $79.99, but it's down to 67, $68, and somebody just sent me an offer for 58. No, I'm good on that. We'll decline that. It's a reshelled Game Boy. I should get every bit of $65. It's up for $68. So at some point, somebody should just buy that, to be honest. So I'm gonna decline that one. Although it's nice to have sales and it's nice to have some cash flow. There's a lot of folks on eBay that want to try to get something for nothing, or try to get a really good deal off of you. I'm not that guy typically, unless I'm desperate, and I'm not desperate. So, so let me go back to my sales, and then we'll go ahead and cover comments. Let's see, sell, and let's go to my orders. All right. So there's that. All right. So we'll get to those in a moment. So let's get to comments first. So Mr. Mac, first time Mr. Mac has commented. Appreciate you hanging out, Mr. Mac. Appreciate you commenting. Mr. Mac says, sold a pair of Bose speakers, and a few days later, the buyer complained that they were damaged and wanted a refund. I have been using speakers and know that they were in mint condition. I asked to have them sent back to me, and when I received them, the speakers were unscrewed out of the cabinet, and he threw the old speakers in a box loose. And hold on, wait, let me. And then I received them, and speakers were unscrewed out of the cabinet and were thrown in his old speakers. And wow, really? eBay sided with the buyer. I quit eBay. That's rough. That's rough. I probably would have escalated with eBay because my pictures would have shown. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been through this. You have, so I'm not sure exactly what avenues outside of just submitting the dispute with eBay. I'd have certainly called eBay and I'd have escalated to a manager. May have still yielded the same result you did, which is just having to eat it. Which, like I mentioned the other day, Amazon, Walmart, people do shady stuff like that all the time. So you're gonna come across those things from time to time. But the good thing is majority of folks are good. Majority of folks aren't trying to screw you over and do shady stuff like that. So that's the good thing. 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 kind of thing. It happens, but it's super rare. And eBay gives you the platform to continue selling your stuff and get tons of eyeballs on it. So, for that one time you have an issue here and there, think about all the sales you do generate by using the platform. So again, I understand your frustration with quitting eBay because of it, but if that was to happen to me, what I would do is I'd escalate with eBay, showing the fact that everything was screwed in the box, everything was in there. I don't know if it was the 901s or something, all the little speakers, but I would have been like, look, all my pictures show, you can see my track record. I don't, like in my case, you know what I mean? And then this dude sends all these speakers loose it's separate. Like, come on, that's shady. That's super shady. So I would have escalated. Again, I don't know, the result may have yielded the same. I may have been just a wasted breath and all that kind of stuff and not really yielded anything extra and still had to eat it. But we do have some protection as well as sellers. And to that degree, when things come back and they're not right, eBay does sometimes go in our favor and help us out and look out for us. Now, I know if you get a foreigner, there's black and white, there's no gray. If you get an American, sometimes you can get some things they give you some wiggle room and do kind of work in that gray area a little bit and help you out. So yeah, it's tough situation, Mr. Mark. I get it. I know it's shitty as hell. Douchebags out there. There's I'm still waiting on that VCR situation. I'm waiting to get a message from the guy saying this doesn't work, and so I get it. But you got to think all the other additional sales you do get that are good transactions that go well, where you do make money and you are able to sell things and ship them out of the convenience of your home and get them out and where all the the good transactions. For every 100 you get maybe 1 or 2 bad ones. It's part of doing business. It sucks. I get it. It totally sucks. And again, I don't know if eBay would have done anything different if you'd escalate with eBay and go to a manager. Obviously your track record probably would have some to do with it, or how long you've been with eBay may have something to do with it too, whether they're going to do something for you or not. But obviously that's a red flag that all the speakers were taken out of the original cabinet and then put in a separate box. Like to me, that's your leverage there. Like, who does that? Like, why did this guy take all my speakers out of the box if they weren't trying to do some shady stuff? Like, that's obviously a red flag. It's kind of like when people ship back an empty package and then eBay ends up refunding the money or makes you refund the money. There is dispute processes for that as well, where we're protected. So, it's hard to prove those things, unfortunately. And eBay is heavy on the buyer side because they're a publicly traded company and they want buyers to come in and buy. So they're going to side for the buyer most of the time. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. It's the customer service side of stuff. And, even though customers are there's some shady ones out there, most people are pretty good. So anyway, the next thing Mr. Max says is, why do you pay taxes selling when there are so many write-offs and gas, etc., and returns? Well, you're not wrong. As I mentioned in the video, we expense out and do as much as we can. Your gas, food, internet, cell phone. I mean, tires, trailer, truck repairs, on and on and on. The list continues. Returns, write-offs, blah, blah, blah. So we do as much as we can. When I mentioned that number, what I failed to mention, because I think I said right around $1,200 to $1,500 a month is usually what I pay in it for taxes. What I didn't or failed to mention there is I own and operate 2 businesses, eBay and a sports memorabilia business. We work with Fanatics and Radke Sports out of Atlanta, Georgia. Or actually it's not Atlanta, Flowery Branch, Georgia. But anyway, so I go down there pretty regularly. Not so much Fanatics. Fanatics doesn't, I do have an account with Fanatics. We do a lot of business with Fanatics. But for Radke, we're really close with. We've been working with them for 6 years. Know the owners, go down, hang out at the warehouse, all that kind of stuff. Have access to all their exclusive stuff. But anyway, what I'm saying is I do that on Facebook Live. and it's predominantly football, autographed football helmets, but it's also autographed entertainment stuff like Star Wars and Walking Dead and Sons of Anarchy, and just to name a few. And then it's, you know, basketball stuff, and it's baseball stuff, and it's some hockey stuff. And so, you know, we have a lot of different stuff that we sell on Facebook Live. We do it break style. If you've ever heard of like card breaks, we do it break style for the memorabilia. We've been doing it for 6 years. You know, so that's where most of my taxes actually come from. I would say the eBay side is maybe a couple $100, $200, $300, $400 a month. It's not major. The memorabilia side is probably heavier on the $1,000 to $1,200 a month. But at the end of the year, you know, that's when you kind of fine tune everything and throw everything at the books, is that come tax time. And that's when I see a lot of that money come back. Now I run as a S corp, so, you know, anyway, that's that we get and dive in a whole bunch of stuff there, and I have an accountant, so that's a lot of that stuff. I'm kind of understand how it all works, but I'm also not the best one to probably uh, teach you how to do any of that stuff, because again, I'm not an expert at that kind of stuff. But you know, I do have a pretty good understanding of how it all works for the most part. High level overview, kind of, you know, maybe not so much fine tune and all the micro and macro of it all, but I pretty much know how it all works. So anyway, yeah, at the end of the year, that's when we get a large chunk back. So if I paid in like, you know, let's say 18,000 for the year, I may get back at the end of the year, may get back like 10 after we expense everything out and show everything on the books and blah, blah, blah. Cause we don't normally do that monthly. We just based it off of, monthly is based off of just my income that I take home from eBay and my sports memorabilia. Now the sports memorabilia business is certainly is more lucrative than the eBay side of stuff. So a lot more, it's heavier. The dollar amount is heavier from that side of the business. But like I said, we pretty much put a blanket amount based off of, or whatever the percentage is, based off of what you claim for the month as far as income. My accountant does all what he does. I pay X in taxes, which is on average about 12 to 1500, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, because it's based off of the income. And then at the end of the year is when we expense a lot of that stuff out, and do all the write-offs for gas and internet and cell phone and all that kind of stuff, space, computers, repairs, whatever, even the gray areas that, you know, I was mentioning. And that's when I see back a nice chunk. And then obviously you get your child tax credits and blah, 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 blah. So at the end of the year, I do get a nice tax return, but I also pay a lot monthly to pay into that, because I also don't want to pay at the end of the year either. Because some people just wait to the end of the year and then they have to pay the, you know, after they file the taxes, they got to pay 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand, whatever it is, depending on what you made or what you claim you made, after everything is said and done. You know, I like to get back a return. So that's just the way I do it. I'm not saying that's the right way, the wrong way, or whatever, but that's just the way I do it. So, and that's the way my accountant has us set up. So that's just how we operate. Anyway, let's reply to that. Let's keep it moving. Justin says eBay's dead. Well, eBay's not dead. You know, that's your opinion. eBay is still the number 2 player, Amazon, then eBay. It's certainly not what it used to be, but eBay is not dead, sir. So if you would like to elaborate on that, I see a couple people thumbed up that. If y'all want to chime in too, you thumb uppers, and elaborate more on why eBay's dead, I'm all ears, because I can tell you from this seat and from many other people that sell on eBay, eBay is not dead. In fact, it's a wonderful platform to sell on, outside of those situations here and there that are, you're going to have that anywhere, whatnot, marketplace, you know, you're going to have yahoos and scammers on every platform, Poshmark, Macari, whatever. Hell, you own a brick and mortar store, you're going to have people try to scam you there too. So at the end of the day, it's all pretty relative. But I call bullshit on that, Justin. eBay's not dead, sir. And if you think eBay's dead, elaborate for me. Tell me more. Why is eBay dead? Because it's still the number 2 platform. Anyway, so Justin, yeah, anyway, we'll call bullshit on that one. All right. And then whoever thumbed up that, same thing. Give me, if you're watching this video, give me why. Chime in too. Tell me why. In fact, I'm going to clickbait this one and say eBay's dead and try to get some clickbait on this one. Every time I put down eBay's dead in the title, I get a bunch of clicks and a bunch of views. So you know what? Thank you. We'll go ahead and use that as our title for this one. So I'll put down, is eBay really dead? No, eBay is not really dead. So is it what it used to be? Not quite, but is it dead? Absolutely not. Is it going to be dead later? No, not happening. It's not happening. Anyway, so backwards fish 86. Damn, this is the one I'm about to light up. So let's go ahead and reply to this real quick. And there's two people that actually thumbed up it. So this goes for you guys as well. Damn, you're the kind of seller I hate. If it's not new, don't list it as new, motherfucker. You know what? First of all, you don't know what I do and how I do. You're putting me in a box based off of one transaction. So first of all, you know what? I hate people like you that just try to generalize one situation and make it like that's how I do and that's how I operate. That's not the way I operate, sir. First, the second thing I'll say, thank you for trolling, because your comment helps the algorithm. Thank you for watching. Your watching helps the algorithm. So thank you for helping my YouTube channel. Thank you, sir. Number three, I'm going to say, if you watched it, you know that I also came up and said, it said in the description, read, and it said like new condition. So yes, did I have a little fapu there or whatever, where I put in the eBay portion, I dropped down and put new, and then in the description, I put like new. Them motherfucking shoes were pretty much brand new. They still had the sticker on the insole, which means they may have been worn once. The outsoles had a little bit of scuffing. I cleaned them up. They look brand spanking new, sir. So at the end of the day, did I make a small mistake on one item? And does that happen occasionally because I'm human? Yes, that does happen from time to time. But don't put me in a box and say that I hate that you're kind of buyer, you're kind of seller, blah, blah, blah. You're the people I hate. You know what? You're the people I hate because you generalize off of one thing. So anyway, backward fish, hopefully you haven't subscribed because I don't want to hear from you again. And if I do, I'll probably just delete your comment because the type of person you are is obviously not the type of person I want to be watching my stuff. So you know what? And I have that luxury being my channel. I can just delete your stuff. So there's that. So happy watching and following up on this one. And the two people that thumbed up it, chime in. If you got something to say too, I'll be glad to address it as well because I don't pull any punches. This is all raw and unedited. I could care too. You know what? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, but nobody gives a fuck. Okay, so you can keep your opinion to yourself because I don't give a fuck at the end of the day. Yeah, so there's that. That's all I got to say about that. Backward fish, have a wonderful day, man. Hopefully you don't come across my stuff, and hopefully you don't buy anything from me, and hopefully you don't watch again because I don't care. Don't give a fuck. Damn, that's just damn. You're the type of seller I hate. Well, you're the type of person I hate because you like to generalize and put people in a box based off of a honest mistake. And if I remember correctly, I even mentioned if the buyer reached out to me, I'd give him a refund because obviously I'm owning the fact that it's a bit contradicting. I hit the drop down new, and then in the description I put down like new. So at the end of the day, there is a little discrepancy there. So I would definitely take care of the buyer. I wouldn't be like, oh, you know what, that's on you. I don't care. But I'm pretty sure I mentioned I would take care of the customer and give them some sort of refund if they reply back. But I'll be honest, if I got those shoes, I'd be like, damn, these are pretty much new. I mean, that's what they are. They're pretty much brand new. If they were worn, they were probably worn once. Anyway, I'm done with my soapbox. Backwards fish. Have a wonderful day. If you do want to subscribe, that's awesome. And troll my stuff, that's amazing. You know what? Help my algorithm. I love it. All right, let's keep it. And the two people that thumbed up that as well, I love the fact that you're watching, that you thumbed up that comment, because that means you're watching too and helping my algorithm. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you have anything to say, comment on the next video, and I'll go ham and go in on you too, because I don't care. I don't care. All right, and then Justin follows up and says, Justin says, thanks for sharing. Had a customer tell me 3 days after I posted that the address. I had a customer tell me 3 days after I posted that the address was wrong. I guess that's what I guess that's happened to you before, Justin. That has happened to me before. Now, when they have the wrong address, let me reply to that as well. When they have the wrong address on eBay and you send it to them, and then after the fact they tell you it was the wrong address, unfortunately, that's on them. That's not on you. So if it delivers, you're good. eBay is gonna swing in your favor. Now, it could be where they don't live there anymore, And it's up to them to figure that out at the end of the day, because it's going to deliver wherever that address is. And once it shows delivered, you're golden. If they want to pay to have it retracted, I believe you have to do that as the buyer or as the seller through like the post office. You can do a redirect where it actually will redirect the package, but that costs like $15 or something like that. So, if you want to, go that route and offer them that, I probably wouldn't go that route, because then they have to pay you through like a third party platform to do that process. So I probably wouldn't do that. I probably just let it go. Let them know that unfortunately that's the address that was on there. So, it's going to deliver to that address. Hopefully you had a address forwarding, or hopefully somebody that's living there or can go back there, and whatever the case is, but that's not on you. Now, if it comes back to you, which might happen, which I've had that happen, and go return to sender and it'll come back to you, I wouldn't refund them the shipping. I'd just refund them the item, because that was their mistake, not yours. And like I said, I've had eBay step in those cases as well. That's their mistake, not yours. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. Just kind of see how it shakes out. But I would just let it go through the process, because either way, unless you want to eat the $15 to do a redirect on the package, that's up to you. But I personally would just let it roll, let it go, and just tell the buyer, hey, I'm sorry, unfortunately it's going to go to that address. That's the address that you had provided to eBay. So that's where the package is going. It's already been shipped out. If you'd give me a different address or updated it prior to, then I could have, we could have taken care of it and got it to where it needs to go. But at this point, it's going to that address. So hopefully you have a means to get that package from that address, and just keep it moving, man. And now, if you get a negative feedback because of it, I would call eBay, go through the dispute online, because now you have to do that first. And then I would end up calling eBay and be like, hey, this guy had the wrong address, and now he's giving me negative feedback because he had the wrong address that I shipped to. You know what I mean? Like, that's not your problem. And that shouldn't be an effect or an impact on your account. And like I said, eBay's usually pretty good about that kind of stuff. So make sure my mic's on. Good deal. All right. So that's that. Where are we at? We're at 22 minutes. We should be able to knock this out within 30, 35 minutes or so. Let's go over sales. Hopefully that helps a little bit, Justin. Yeah, if it was me, I wouldn't stress about it. Let's see. So again, we had 6 sales between yesterday's video and right now. 264.01. First thing that sold was an HTC Vive virtual reality goggles headset. So I've had these for a while. I had the whole. Ooh, we got blue skies. We got blue skies coming through. Uh-oh, sun might pop out. In fact, the sun is kind of popping out. So HTC Vive. If y'all don't know anything about these, the HTC virtual reality, if you come across these, especially if it has the handles and the body sensors and the camera things, this thing is like, it's like $600, $700, $800. It's crazy how much money these things are. This sold for $127 plus shipping on that one for just the goggles. I've had the handhelds. They sold for like $100 a pop. I had the like 3 or 4 sensors with the little coils that plug into another sensor. I sold that lot quick when I got this thing probably like 4 months ago, and this is the last piece now that finally sold. But I'm in the blue, or was in the green from the first sale. So I think I picked up the whole thing, and it was included in the video game lot, so it was just kind of added to a lot. And I think I spent like $200 on the whole thing. So the first sale was like $400 and some for all those sensors. So then the controllers went for like $100 a pop, and now this sold for $127. So way in the green on this thing. So if you ever find these HTC Vives, I think they've got a newer version of them as well. They're high dollar, man. They're high dollar. It's crazy. So keep an eye out on that. Next thing, Medal of Honor and Grand Theft Auto. I just put this one up, actually. Let's see. Grand Theft Auto 5. Complete. Yes. And Medal of Honor. So these two sold. Grand Theft Auto is complete with the map and the manual on Xbox 360, sold for $13, free shipping on that one. And the Medal of Honor on GameCube sold for, on promotion, I just put this up. I probably shouldn't have added it under my 15% discount because I literally just put it up. But sold for $7 plus shipping on that one. Next thing it sold was Let's see, Ultimate Alliance and Carbon, Need for Speed Carbon, loose discs. So Need for Speed Carbon, and I just put up a bunch of loose discs yesterday as well. So loose discs sell, guys. I mean, obviously, you got to have some, have some better titles, but they do sell. So let's see. And like I said on the last video, that JFJ disc resurfacer does a pretty darn good job. I forget who commented on it, talking about the sanding. I actually, ironically enough, I had a bunch of discs that I got from a bundle deal from an old man that calls me regularly. He does storage units, and anytime he comes across video games, he will call me and sell me video game stuff pretty cheap. So I'm his point of contact. I highly recommend networking and finding, I came across him by going to his yard sale, and then I became his video game guy. So, those things that's kind of the way, you network yourself out there to get to know folks. I mentioned before, I probably now am up to about 6 or so, maybe five folks that contact me occasionally on their point of contact when it comes to video game stuff. Whether they do storage cleanouts or just they do their own picking and buying and selling. When they come across games, they contact me and we try to work out a deal. But anyway, the old man, I had a whole stack of discs that were just janky. They were messed up. So yesterday, 2 discs were, you use the buffing pad to get a lot of those scratches and stuff out, and that works really, really well to get most of that stuff out. But 2 of the discs were like way gone. So I don't normally sand, but I did go ahead and sand those 2. And like I mentioned in the other video, once you get to sanding, that's the point where it's like it's 50-50 shot whether it's going to work at that point once you go to the sanding part. At least for mine and my experience with my J&F, I actually reached out to the company because I have such a hard time when it comes to sanding, and they gave me, their customer service is pretty good. The guy messaged me back and gave me some tips and this and that. Because what happens is when you sand it, for some reason it gets like nicks in the inner side of the disc. And so it's like, gosh, man. And then when you buff it out, they don't all come out. And that's where it initially reads the disc to then go to the rest of it. Like the copyright and all that kind of stuff. It's got all that housed in that section. So it kind of messes that up, and then it just can't read the disc anymore, no matter how clean it looks. Once those nicks and that's damaged there, it's done. And I don't know why mine does that. If I have to do it for like 10 seconds and then it'll be very minimal, and then it might work. That's why I said it's like 50-50. So if I have like really, really deep scratches and I got to sand it for like more than 10 seconds, it's a wrap. I can tell you 100% it ain't do, because then those little nicks get really bad, and like impressions inside of the plastic get really bad. It's weird. I don't understand why it does it. But so that's why I say for me, it's probably less than 50-50. It's probably 25% chance it's going to work. So I don't normally sand, but I'm saying all that to say yesterday I sanded 2, 0 for 2. Both of them ended up not working when I tested them out after the fact. So, that's why I don't like doing it. But anyway, Ultimate Alliance sold on Xbox for $8.50. Another one I just put up, and I probably shouldn't have put it under the promotion, but it's out of here. It is what it is. $8.50 free shipping. And then Need for Speed Carbon, another one I just put up not too long ago. I don't like to put the new stuff up on promo, but I was lazy, and I put almost everything up on promo for 15% off. So that one got gobbled up also. That one went for $13.50 free shipping. So it is what it is. Lost a few bucks probably, because I'm pretty sure both of those would have sold. I think it's only a few dollars. Need for Speed was up for like $15.99. So what, I lose like $2. And then Marvel was up for like $9.99, $1.50. So it's not the end of the world. But I do know that they both would have sold for those prices if they sat a little while longer. But sometimes it's just better to get stuff out of here. And then the last thing that sold was a Netgear. I picked this up for $5 at a yard sale. Where'd I put it? Just picked this up at a yard. Actually, I just put this up. Where did I end up putting it? It's a Netgear router. That one's not it. It's a Netgear router. Are you serious? Where'd I put this thing? I just listed it like 3 days ago. Netgear router sold for $44.95 or $44.99 plus shipping, and I picked it up for $5. probably about a month ago, but maybe 3 weeks ago. Well, it would have been about a month ago because I've been on vacation for 2 weeks and been back a week now. So it had been probably about a month ago. So I picked it up, but it was part of the pile of all the stuff that I picked up. That's right. It was part of all that stuff that I'm still sitting on that I got to get processed and get up, I just got it up 2 days ago, I want to say, and it just sold. So I got to find it. Let's see. I couldn't have gone too far because it's in a decent sized box. Is it on the other side, maybe? Yeah, this happens sometimes, guys. You put something somewhere and then you try to find it. I don't do inventory system. I do it by category for the most part and just my own uh, uh, method to my madness kind of thing. But every once in a while it's right here. Every once in a while you end up kind of forgetting where you put something. So, it is what it is. For the most part, it works 99% of the time pretty well. But there it is right there. Netgear CM 1000. Pretty much, let's go back to that dude's comment. Pretty much brand new, but I did list it as like new condition. So, which it is in the box, like new condition. Looks brand spanking new when you open it, but I did it as like new condition. So if you want to troll me again, you can go ahead and troll me again if you'd like, whatever your name was. But so there's that, like new condition, tested, $44.99. So that's it. That's all I got for sales. Again, 6 sales, 264.01. It does hit goal. My goal's 200 a day or 1,400 for the week. So yesterday we were just a bit shy. Today we're just a bit over. So the average is doing pretty good, at least for the last 2 days. The day before that was like $60, so that was way under. Hopefully sales promos continue to pop, and I can get some of these systems out of here. Some of my systems are actually priced really well right now, in my opinion. 15% off of whatever the price was, and I'd probably go even a little bit lower on some of them. But I'm trying to get. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, at least 37 consoles that I'm sitting on that I need to get up out of here. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Certainly comments. I love to address the comments, even the trolls. Go ahead and troll me. I don't mind. Hate whatever you hate and let me know if you want to chime in. You just help my algorithm. I appreciate it. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate you guys subscribing. And we'll see y'all on the next one. I'll be back tomorrow, assuming we have sales. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye, everybody.